verse 10, when he says they sacrifice to demons and not to God, that phrase is a quote from Deuteronomy 2 verse 17. And so we'll come back to there. They sacrifice to demons and not to God. If we come back to Deuteronomy 32, what that means is we now have an Old Testament word that links the New Testament one, because the Old Testament was in Hebrew. We can now find a Hebrew word for demons, which is picked up in the Greek in Corinthians, and since it's quoted, we know it's like, to some degree, an equivalent word. And so Deuteronomy 2 is a chapter prophesying about Israel going astray from the one true God and worshipping false gods. It says in verse 16 that they provoked the real God to jealousy with strange gods, with abominations. Then verse 17 is the quote. They sacrificed to demons and not to God, to gods whom they didn't know, to new gods that came newly up. And so again, we find demons being explained as these false gods, these gods of the nations, these new gods to Israel. And that's whom they are worshipping. And in so doing, they are provoking God to jealousy. And so verse 21 says, and this also, we didn't look at it, but it's also picked up in Corinthians. Verse 21 says, they've moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. It's not the normal word in the Hebrew for God here. It's a word which is a title of God, but it means like raw power. It's that which isn't power. It's completely powerless, these things that they're worshipping, these false gods, these demons. They have no power. They provoke me to anger with their vanities. That's the context of the demons here. They're false gods that have no power. They don't exist.